Okay, let's unpack this because today we're diving into, well, a deep dive that might just fundamentally shift how you think about something we usually see as purely negative.
Hmm.
Imagine like a busy city, right?
Mm.
Full of rules, norms, but crime still happens.
Always does.
So what if that persistence isn't just a flaw? What if it's actually a hidden, maybe even functional part of how societies work?
Functional.
Yeah. What if crime, dare I say it, has a purpose?
It sounds completely counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Totally.
And that's precisely the intriguing territory we're exploring today. This deep dive is going to unravel the functionalist perspective on crime and
A
deviance.
functionalist perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our mission really is to understand how some foundational sociological thinkers like Émile Durkheim and Robert Merton looked past the immediate harm.
Right, the obvious negative stuff.
Exactly. To see crime's unexpected roles, maybe even its necessities, within the whole social fabric.
Wow. Okay, I'm already hooked. Get ready, because this perspective is definitely going to challenge, your everyday assumptions about social order, the rules we live by.
And even how societies change over time.
Yeah, and this is where it really starts to get fascinating.
So what's really kind of revolutionary about Émile Durkheim's work, he was one of sociology's pioneers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is his argument that crime isn't just inevitable, it can actually be functional for a healthy society.
Functional. Okay, that word again? How?
Well, his core idea was that for any society to exist, there needs to be this collective conscience.
Collective conscience.
Yeah.
Like shared values.
Exactly. A shared set of values, beliefs, moral understandings, the stuff that binds people together.
Yeah.
But, not everyone can conform perfectly to that ideal.
Right, people are different.
Precisely. So deviance then becomes sort of an unavoidable byproduct of just human diversity.
Okay, so if it's inescapable, an unavoidable part of society, how does it become anything other than just a problem? That's the bit that really throws a wrench in how we normally think.
Right. Well, Durkheim identified two crucial functions here. The first is what he called boundary maintenance.
Boundary maintenance.
Yeah. So when a crime happens, especially one that gets a lot of attention.
Like in the news?
Exactly. The public reaction, and it's often amplified by the media, the courts, all that it serves to define and reaffirm society's moral boundaries.
Oh, okay.
The condemnation of the criminal isn't just about punishment. It's this collective reassertion of what's acceptable and what's not.
So it's like society drawing a line in the sand together.
Kind of, yeah. Saying, look, this is who we are and this is what we stand for. It actually strengthens social solidarity among those who uphold the norms.
That makes a strange kind of sense. Almost unsettling, but I see it. It clarifies the rules by showing what happens if you break them.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean a society actually needs crime to remind itself of its values? And you said two functions. What's the second one?
Well, his theory suggests it does, at least to some degree, need that boundary marking. And the second function is social change.
Social change.
Okay. For society to progress, to adapt, new ideas and behaviors have to emerge, right? And these inevitably challenge the old norms.
Sure. Things can't stay the same forever.
Exactly. So what's considered deviant or even criminal today might become accepted, maybe even mainstream, tomorrow.
Can you give an example?
Well, the classic example you sometimes hear about is the suffragettes.
Right, fighting for the vote.
Their actions were definitely seen as criminal, deviant, disruptive at the time, but they were a vital force in the process that eventually led to women gaining the right to vote.
Okay, I see.
Durkheim saw this type of deviance as like a necessary evolutionary step. It pushes society forward.
So crime isn't always a sign that society is breaking down. Sometimes it's a symptom of it adapting or evolving.
Potentially, yes.
That really reframes things. It makes me think about, some contemporary protest movements or maybe controversial art that gets condemned initially.
Absolutely.
Could those be seen through Durkheim's lens as maybe agents of future change?
It definitely encourages us to look beyond the immediate reaction, the outrage, and consider the long-term societal impact. It's a different way of looking. Now, while Durkheim painted this sort of broad picture, like society's immune system reacting, Robert Merton, another key sociologist, took a closer look at the individual level. Like, how does societal pressure actually lead someone to deviate?
Right. What makes a person break the rules?
That's where Merton offers this really powerful explanation with his famous strain theory.
Strain theory. Okay, I'm intrigued. How does the strain work? What is it?
So Merton basically agreed that most people in a society share common cultural goals. Think, the American dream.
Financial success, nice house, comfortable life.
Exactly those things.
Okay.
The culturally approved markers of success. However, he observed that not everyone has the same legitimate, socially approved means to achieve those goals.
Okay. The opportunities aren't equal.
Precisely. And this creates a significant strain or pressure, especially for people who feel blocked or disadvantaged by the system. This gap, this disjunction between the goals everyone's told to want and the legitimate ways to get them, that can lead to what he called anomie.
Anomie, like feeling disconnected, lost.
Yeah, a state where individuals feel disconnected from societal norms, where the rules feel weak or unclear because of that strain.
So it's that frustrating gap between the dream they sell you and the actual reality of opportunity, that pressure cooker effect you mentioned.
Exactly.
So how do people respond when they feel this strain? What do they do?
Well, Merton identified 5 distinct ways people adapt or respond. The first, and probably the most common, is conformity.
Conformity. Makes sense.
These individuals accept both the societal goals and the legitimate means to achieve them. They, work hard, go to school, play by the rules.
They stick to the script.
Right. Striving for success within the established system.
Okay, that's the ideal, right? The bedrock of stability for society. But then we get into the more, let's say, creative response.
Yes, exactly. Then there's innovation.
Innovation.
This is where we see a lot of what we typically think of as crime. So individuals here still accept the cultural goals. They still want the success, the wealth.
They want the dream.
They absolutely want the dream. But they reject the legitimate means, maybe because they feel they're blocked off. So they innovate, they turn to illegitimate means like, say, dealing drugs or fraud or theft to achieve those very same societal goals.
Okay, that clarifies a lot about certain types of crime. It's not always rejecting the goal itself, just the approved path.
Interesting.
What are the other ways people adapt?
Next up is ritualism.
Ritualism.
Here, individuals essentially give up on achieving the big goals, like major success or wealth. But they rigidly, almost compulsively, adhere to the legitimate means, the rules.
So they follow the rules but don't expect the prize.
Pretty much. Think of maybe a bureaucrat who just goes through the motions of their job day after day. They find safety in the routine. The rules are paramount, even though they've maybe long given up hope of climbing the ladder or getting rich.
Okay, they've dropped the ambition but kept the rule book.
Exactly. They've sort of checked out on the goal, but they stick to the process.
Got it. And then we have retreatism.
Correct. Retreatism. Yeah. This is when individuals reject both the cultural goals and legitimate means altogether.
Both do.
Yeah. They often just drop out of society, in a sense. Sometimes turning to, say, chronic drug or alcohol abuse as a form of escapism, or maybe living on the absolute fringes. They've disengaged from the whole societal game.
They've just completely opted out. Wow. Okay. And the final response, you said 5. This one seems like it has a different flavor.
It does. The final one is rebellion.
Rebellion.
Now, these individuals also reject both the existing goals and the existing means, like the retreatists. But, unlike retreatists, they actively seek to replace them with new goals and new means.
So they want to change the whole system.
Exactly. This can manifest as, political movements, sometimes revolutions, or maybe forming alternative communities with entirely new social orders. They're aiming to transform society, not just abandon it.
Like activists pushing for a fundamentally different economic or social structure.
Precisely, that kind of thing falls under rebellion in Merton's framework.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together. What does this all mean? We've seen how these functionalist ideas give us a totally different lens on crime.
Mm-hmm.
We started with Durkheim, this powerful idea that crime is, well, inevitable maybe, but it also serves society by clarifying boundaries and sometimes even driving social change.
Right, the boundary maintenance and adaptation functions.
Yeah. And then Merton comes in and explains how that pressure, that strain between society's goals and the unequal means to get there can lead people to adapt in different ways, including what he calls criminal innovation.
It puts individual action into a broader social context?
It really does. It's a remarkably different way to think about something we usually just see as something to be stamped out.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really shows us that what we label as crime or deviance isn't always just some simple, isolated bad act.
Right. It's more complicated.
It's often deeply woven into the fabric of our social dynamics. Sometimes it reflects those societal pressures Merton talked about, or maybe it acts as a catalyst for future evolution, like Durkheim suggested.
Yeah.
Understanding these theories can really illuminate not only why societies react to crime in the ways they do,
The outrage, the punishment.
exactly, but also how these seemingly negative acts can sometimes unexpectedly be precursors to significant social progress.
Absolutely. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Next time you hear about some controversial new idea or maybe a protest that's really challenging the status quo,
Hmm.
consider this. Could that seemingly deviant act actually be laying the groundwork for future social change, like the suffragettes did?
Or maybe it's reinforcing boundaries against something society sees as a threat.
Or that, yeah. What other things happening now, behaviors we see as negative today, might functionalists look back on and see as, well, vital in some way?
It's a challenging thought.
It is definitely something to keep thinking about how these ideas might apply to the world unfolding around you right now.